Hello, my Teaserking family. Sorry. I hope everybody's well. So, we got NFL, we got college, we've got gold, we got some more Egon. I've got my 10 countries collapsing in Europe. And I'm going to start off with the Russian ruble. So, as I send money to Daria, I said, well, here's the ruble 110.43. So you have rent divided by 110, so I owe you X. But she's saying, oh, no, 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 my bank's rate's different than this rate. So I don't know where this rate comes from and to use it. But that's what I'm using. So I said, well, here's for rent. And she's like, well, no, 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 I need more. It's not that. Now it's fine. I'm giving her more, but I says, well, you can use for rent and then go buy food. So she said her food prices are going up January 12th. Because I said, well, why don't you buy some cans and some meat now at the cheaper price, which is what you do in hyperinflation. And she said, well, I need money. You're giving me money, but I got to pay rent with it. I said, well, I'll give you a little bit more. But the bottom line is the grocer who's selling the food still needs to make sales. So if he makes his prices too high, nobody buys it. And the food sits on the shelves. And if the food sits on the shelves, nothing happens, right? He can't do anything with it, right? So then he's stuck losing money because he buys it. He buys the tuna from, Bumblebee, and then he goes and sells it. If he marks it too high and it doesn't leave his shelf, he loses a lot of money. So I don't know that just because that the prices can get that high unless you have price fixing. If the government says keep the prices low and the producer can't, the manufacturer can't get the tuna in the can, I can only get $4.75 from it, but the tuna in the can cost me $6. That's why the shelves are usually empty. So I told her we'll go buy some canned food and meat. So I'll send her a little bit more. I get Social Security tomorrow. I got all fucked up. I thought the first was Thursday, and I thought, oh, I don't get paid till the 12th. But then I realized the first was Wednesday, and then the second Wednesday in the month I get it. So I get a big 2% increase. I'm laughing, but I won't get it for much longer because I'll just take my paychecks. But we got to see what Trump does. If Trump says, you can get Social Security, no pay tax, then I'll just keep getting it. Then that'll be a different story. Then the gold train will really be moving. So in the meantime, I'll get it then, and then I'll decide to stop it or depending on what Trump does January 20th. I assume he'll make a decision pretty quickly. That's a big voter thing, right? Oh, no tax on Social Security. We'll get on tariffs as I fuck the economy that way. Anyway, so we'll see. I mean, I can only give Daria so much money, but fortunately, because I am working, I'm okay giving it to her some, and we will see. But making her aware. And then I said, by the way, I'm holding gold because the dollar is going to zero and the value of the gold's going up. That's why I'm not selling my gold now, even though it went up $1,000. I don't care. I'm not going to sell a $20,000 ounce of gold for $2,700. So I think she gets it. I don't think Jenna got it, but I think Daria gets it. Like it's going up and the silver's going up. Then we can talk. But right now, it's to me very cheap, 2,700. It's nowhere near where it's going to be. So if I have to, but I'm working, so I don't need to sell any gold, thank God. That was the plan. If I never got back to work and I needed money, I would start selling an ounce of gold for $3,000 here and there. But fortunately, I'm back to work, so I don't need it. I finally talked to my boss. It was the strangest situation. Before November, before Thanksgiving, I didn't I didn't. My boss wasn't at the office, so I talked to him yesterday, and I said, "Oh, nice to hear you're still alive." I said, "Well, I just miss seeing you around the office." And he says, "Well, I'll be back next week." And I said, "Oh, okay, good, yeah." Just is something wrong? Can you not get out of? He's Brazilian. Can you not get out of Brazil, or somebody's sick? I mean, why aren't you at work? So anyway, it's good. He helped me on a new project. He gives me a project, and then he walks me through it, and then it's usually very simple, so it'll be no problem at all. But anyway, so Daria's okay. It's just, I did try to say, hey, why don't you buy some more food? But I need to give her some more money for the food. So for the extra food, she has money for her daily food for the week, but she doesn't have money to then go out and get extra food. So that's what I gave her. Anyway, it is funny that this is 110.43, and yet her bank is 106. But then if she buys rubles, it's 98. So I don't really understand that. She's not really buying rubles because I'm not giving her dollars. I PayPal her sister in dollars because her sister's in the US. And then the sister, I guess, somehow has a Russian bank, pays her in rubles. So she takes the dollar, gets whatever she gets in rubles, and gives her the rubles. So I'm not sure how it works. So I don't know what $100 is. It 110? Does she get 110? Well, does she get 11,000 for it, or is she getting a little bit less? Seems like a little bit less, but I'm looking at it like I'll give you $100. Whatever you get with it, you get with it. All right, so that's that. Let's go to gold price. Gold price 26.40 and silver 29.61. We know these are extremely low. We also know the derivatives, that the banks are fucked with the derivatives and don't want to let the price go up. But here's where competition comes in from Russia and China saying, we want a higher price. You don't even have gold. I don't know how much silver we have, but I know we don't have any gold in Fort Knox. So we'll have to see what happens with that. But Russia and China have all the gold in India, Saudi Arabia. They want a higher price, as I do, as you do. We want prices to go up because we have it. If you don't have it, you want prices to go down. Now the question is, why doesn't the U.S. buy gold? It's insanity. These people in charge are so fucking stupid. It's embarrassment. Like they're a bunch of idiots. You guys could run it much better after what I've taught you. You would all buy gold and silver and get rid of the dollar. So they don't see it, or they're controlled, or whatever it is. That's what's going on. So anyway, we've got 26.40 for gold, which it's very cheap. It's much higher. This is derivative price, not physical, and we'll get to physical. All right. Let's go to, when I look at gold on eBay, I'm getting very confused because I'm seeing much higher prices. So here's an Australian, and it's 42.77. Gold's 26.40. I didn't know Hungary had gold. We've never seen it before. Oh, 1905. Okay. How come when I query 1 ounce, I can't seem to get a 1 ounce coin? Let's see. This is what I hate about eBay. You click in 1 ounce and it doesn't give you 1 ounce. Here's a kangaroo at 3,500, and you're like, why is this so expensive? I mean, it's 2,600. This is a 1 ounce kangaroo. So in that, I didn't get one ounce American. Now this bothers me. Here's a 1/4 ounce, which should be $700, $14.99. Excuse me. Low mintage key date. Who gives a fuck? I'm buying an ounce of gold. This should be 730, 750. Do not pay 1,500 for this. You'll never get it back. When the shit hits the fan, people are going to say gold's this, and I'm going to give you 750 for it. They don't care about a key date. They're just going to want the gold. So don't be scammed by that. This is insanity. Where's the quarter? Where's the ounces? All right, I'm going to do 1 ounce Eagle. And let's see if I get any 1 ounce Eagles. Now here's a 1/10 for 325. That's about what I would expect a 1/10 to be. I'm glad I filtered it by Eagle. Now here's an Eagle that's an MS 70, 2877. I wouldn't pay more because it's graded. We're not doing this for the grading. Here's a confusing one. This is a 1/20th and they want 328. You should be able to get the 1/10 for 328. Be very careful you're getting the right one. So now I'm still not getting an Eagle. All right, here's an Eagle 2,700, which seems actually low. If this is 1 ounce, it should be higher than that. It should be about 2,750 to 28. I don't know. All right, here's one 3,076. Now this seems a little high. The price should be, like I said, about 100 over. So 26, what was it, 2640, 2740, about 2775. What you should be paying on your ounce, 3,000. Here's another one, 3,076. I can't tell if it's just drying up or what. This is graded. This is not 4,000, 1 ounce Eagle coin gem. We don't care that it's uncirculated. It doesn't mean anything. And I doubt it is 1992 and he's got it in the thing. $4,000. It should be 2,750. If I could find a normal one. I mean, this is ridiculous. Here's one that makes no sense. End of World War II, 75th anniversary American Eagle gold proof coin, 49,000. Why the fuck would you spend 49,000 on this? The end of World War, it's a 2020 end of World War II, 75th. So it's not like it's a 1940, it's a 2020. 49,000. Are you kidding me? This is a joke. Why would you could buy 10 ounces for 49,000? A lot of graded ones. Now here, this is a normal 1/4 ounce, about 785. It's a little high, but okay. Probably 750, but at least that's about what you should be paying for a 1/4. Here's one, 995. I'll buy this one. Thank you. You're buying the gold. You're not buying that. Um, a lot of graded ones. I don't. It's all graded. Quarter ounce for $1,000 should be 700. Here's a 1 ounce, 33.95 should be 2,700. Here's more. Here's a tenth of an ounce for 6.95 should be three something. 1/10 of an ounce, 3.95. 1/10 of an ounce, 3.95. Okay, I filtered on 1 ounce. I am not looking. I can't find any 1 ounces, and then all I see is graded ones, MS 70s, 3.95. Why can't I get a 1 ounce? Here's a quarter ounce, 8.99. Everything's graded. Quarter ounce, 8.99. So I guess let's analyze this. Why are all these graded ones coming out? Why are people selling their gradeds, and they're selling them high now? So let's think about it. Let's use logic. One, they need money. Two, they think gold's at the top price and it's not going to go higher. Maybe they want to buy Bitcoin, or they need to buy a car or something. So there's really two reasons, right? They need money for food or rent or something. I hear a lot of people running to Aldi for their groceries because they're anticipating Trump's tariffs. It ain't Trump's tariff that's going to run you to the grocery store. It's the inflation that's going to run you to the grocery store. Just like I was showing you in Russia, where Daria's concerned prices going up after the holiday, January 12th. So she needs more money to buy food now in lieu of it. But how much food can she buy now to get ready for then? So why would you sell your gold besides needing money? Because you think it's not going higher. But these people, 33.50 for a 1 ounce PF 70 Eagle. So this, I don't think, tells me that they think the price is high. I think they need money, and I don't know why they're selling all these graded coins. I don't know why you'd get gold graded. It's not the Montana rookie card that if you get it graded, it's worth more. Gold's not worth any more graded than not graded. So if you're getting it graded, you're an idiot, right? If you go to the store and I'm going to get this graded MS 70 or 69, nobody cares about the grade. We want the gold. I want an ounce of gold. I don't need to pay more for a graded one, because when the time comes and the shit hits the fan, people will want gold and are not going to pay more. Oh, it's graded. Well, it's not a collectible like that. Gold's not a mantle card. It's not, oh, if it's the mantle graded 9, it's worth more than the mantle graded 8. Gold's gold. Gold has the same value if it's 1 ounce from any country, has the same value than if it's a PSA 10 or an MS 70, which is the same thing. There's no more value in it. Nobody's going to pay. They're going to want gold to survive. They're not going to pay more. Why would anybody pay more because it's graded? It doesn't. It's not a collectible. It's not. It's money. It's an investment. So I had this thought. Tell me your comments on this. So you go to the airport and they say, "Do you have any money to declare?" Now you got gold. Is that money? Do you declare it? If you have a Rolex watch, do you declare that? No. Do you declare your credit cards? No. So what are you declaring at the airport? Well, I got credit cards worth $20,000, but I don't declare those. They're not really cash. If I have $500 in my pocket, I have 500. I would declare that. But if I have gold, but I'm not going to spend it, am I going to declare it? Because I'm not declaring my Rolex or my credit cards, right? I'm not declaring that I have I got my gold necklace. I'm not declaring this. It's just jewelry. So I don't know at the airport or at customs what you need to declare. It's $10,000 more in cash, not in assets. So I wouldn't declare my gold. Or if I do, I would declare it at face value. Well, it says it's worth $50. That's okay. I got $50. I think I would just pull out my wallet and say, well, I got $500 here. So it's all we're not counting my Rolex, right? We're not counting my necklace. You just want cash. So I wouldn't declare the gold. You hear these stories and it says these people are idiots. Anyway, so there's two reasons you sell your gold, especially all this graded stuff. You need the money or you think it's at its high. Now, why would you think gold's at its high? I have no idea. Only people that have no idea about BRICS, about COMEX, about the dollar being worthless. But then why would you own gold in the first place? Gold's a protection. So you'd only buy gold if you know the inflation's there. So I would think 99% of these people selling need the money. They happen to get it graded. Why these idiots got it graded, I have no idea. Well, this is what, American Eagle. This is all American Eagle. J&M gold and silver. So whoever J&M, he's got 10 available. Uncirculated, who gives a fuck? Graded MS69, which isn't even good. See full description. So I don't know. I don't care. It's uncirculated. I'm not going to pay for it. I'm happy going to my coin store and getting his quarter ounce for $3.35. I don't need MS70. He gave me two 1/10 because he didn't have any. All he had was ounces, and I can't. I bought some silver, and he pulls out the 1/10. He sells it to me at spot at the 301 that he was selling if he had a tenth of an ounce eagle. Okay, I'm not paying because I don't care that it's MS70 or whatever. I got a few like uncirculators that he sold me, but I don't care. I just want the coin. So again, I don't know I think it would be people needing the money. And they're dumping all these graded ones. Don't know why. Now here's an interesting one. This Ampex, APMEX. I think it's Asia Pacific, Mexico. Do not buy from there. Everything they sell is very expensive. Like this is $9.28. Let's see if we can find another. I don't know. So they're very expensive, Ampex or Ampmex. So stay away from them. Be careful of the buyer you buy if you're buying on eBay. But I wouldn't waste my time on any of this graded stuff on eBay. Let me go into my watch lists. All right. This is better. So on my watch list, I got a Maple Leaf 2761. These are stores that sell like 100 of them, right? 2761. That's what I'm expecting for an ounce. Mantle, still 60,000. Cougaran, 2759 to 26. So they're always pretty close together. Our quarter ounce Philharmonic, 726. This is what you should be paying for quarter ounces. This is what you should be paying for ounces. Jerry Rice, rookie card, 120. This is what you should be paying. This is what you should be getting for your Jerry Rice. Tenth of an ounce, $300. That's not 900 or 700. A quarter ounce Cougar Ants, 712. A quarter ounce Eagle, 739. This is where what you should be buying for. So when you see these graded ones at 900, 1,000, 1,200, why? You want gold. We're collecting. We're not collecting. We're collecting gold. We're getting out of dollars and buying gold. So you want to buy gold as cheap as you can. That's why I entertain the Cougar Ant at 712 versus the Eagle at 739, because it's a quarter ounce of gold. I don't care if it's got a deer on it or an eagle. It doesn't matter. Wow, here's the Jerry Rice at 145. Notice there's different markets. There's different sellers. So there's several Jerry Rice markets and Joe Montana. Here's Mahomes, 500,000. Apparently a 10 count. Yeah, that would make sense. Then we got the heavy hitter, the Rolex, 820. It'll be worth a lot in gold. The Tom Brady rookie card that never sells, 10. It's a 10 count. It's a PSA 10, 4,000,005. You know, this guy's problem is, what's the market? He's trying to create his own market. He's trying to say, well, I want to sell it for $5 million. What's the market on it? Is there buyers at 4,000,005? Apparently not, because I've never seen this sell, and he changes it from 8 million to 2 million to 4 million, 4.5. So he doesn't even say or best offer. He just 4,000,005. Good luck in this market. Now, when it goes to gold, maybe he's got a better chance, a couple ounces of gold, but who has 4.5 to buy a Brady card with? That you don't even know is worth 4.5. Here's the half ounce, 1444. That's about right. Again, we don't want graded. Here's another Rolex, 500,000. Okay, very limited, high demand, rose gold, very pretty. Now we get into some just gold. Again, 1 ounce Eagle, 27.79. The spot's 26.40. Makes sense. That's about what you should be paying for. Tenth of an ounce Cougaran, 291. Quarter ounce Eagle, 783 is probably a little high, but should be like 730. And here's a Maple Leaf, 759. So you can see the difference in the quarter ounces, 783, 759. Now, normally these guys have, 10,000. I'll go through the ratings with you that people who like them give them positive feedback. All right. Now here we got a Rice rookie for 82,000. Well, Howard, I thought it was 140. That's the point. There's different markets. I don't know what it means, DNA 10, but a PSA 10 I know, and it is a PSA 10. So he just wants the money. He's looking for 82 grand. Are there buyers for Jerry Rice at 82 grand? So the seller wants that, but the market, is he over market with everything going on? I don't know how many people are getting out of dollars to buy Jerry Rice cards. I would buy a lot of gold with it. So right now, the Jordan rookie card, again, the guy wants 500 grand, probably what it's worth, but getting the buyer is difficult. And if there's other markets out there and other cards that are 300 or 350, those are going to sell before this one. So you got to be careful of your competition. Here's a half ounce Eagle 1441. Notice it's free shipping. You don't worry about condition. It's gold unless it's like really scratched, which you could ask them. Then we've got the Mantle 1965 hitting a World Series homer, 48,000. That's what it's been. It's a PSA 10, which is probably cheap for 48,000. Any Mantle PSA 10. Then we got Joe Montana, 80,000. The auctions ended. 85,000. The auctions ended. It didn't sell. A 99,000 and the auctions ended. Then it gives you these stuff like, no, it's not similar. This is a PSA 10. This is probably a PSA 1. All right, now it shows you there's several markets because there's several cards. So I'm thinking of buying a quarter ounce because my guy doesn't have it. I might go to this guy and say, oh, it's free shipping. It's 712. Or maybe, you know what, I really will take a Maple Leaf and let's see. Or maybe I want, I'll take a Philharmonic 726 because I like the violins. Or you know what? An Eagle for $739 isn't much more. So let's look at the Eagle. We got free shipping. I believe on eBay there's no tax when you buy it if it's over $500. So there's no sales tax. So then we look at the seller and we go quarter ounce Eagle, free shipping with BGASC on eBay, which I don't know what that means. Oh, this is the seller. 20,112. So there's 20,000 he sold with a basically 100% positive feedback. So he sells it, everybody likes it. So that's all you can go by. This is like the Better Business Bureau. Everybody said, no, he's fine. We bought it. It's fine. Free shipping. 308 people are watching. Well, I don't know why they're not buying. There's one trending. 349 have already sold. So this guy, I guess, is a store, BGASC. Let's see. No, I don't know what it is. I assume it's a store. BGASC is one of the largest coin and bullion dealers in the United States who we've never heard of. Deals gold, 1 ounce, gold bars, 2024, 1 ounce gold coins, other gold, silver lots of 5, and silver bars, other silver, platinum, year of the dragon, BGASC, other exclusive offers. One of the largest, fastest, most precious metal suppliers in the U.S., who we've never heard of. Fast and reliable and trusted. Customers all across the country have quickly come to recognize BGASC as one of the largest, fastest, most trusted online precious metal dealers in the U.S. All packages ship with full insurance and tracking, with most orders being processed same or next business day. Few more great items. We are a BBB accredited business with a A+ rating, an official PCGS dealer, member of the Certified Coin Exchange. So you're dealing with a pretty good guy here. So yeah, 739 versus the Cougar Inn at 712 versus the Philharmonic at 726. So is the Philharmonic also from BGCB, ABC? Yes, it's also BGASC. So do you want to spend 726 or do you want to spend 712 or 739? Now, normally 712, but for only $20, I'd probably buy the Eagle for 739, and then I get my quarter ounce. Then I stop dicking around with my guy. The difference is I buy it, and then I have to wait around for the shipping and stress that way, which I hate. I prefer going to the store and doing it. But my guy is not. He's selling them for like $8.50 to the wholesaler, and I don't know why, and I don't know what the wholesaler's doing. So this is a alternate way to buy. Again, it's free shipping and shouldn't be taxed. Again, we can filter, or we can ask them a question: do we pay tax? Shouldn't be, because I'm in Michigan, but it shouldn't be anyway, because we're buying money and there shouldn't be a tax on it. And I've never paid tax on my guy. I've never had even tenth of an ounce. If I buy silver, $300-400, I've never paid a tax to buy gold or silver. And obviously I drive there, so there's no shipping because I take it out the door with me. So if you are looking, these are fair prices. And if you have questions, I'll guide you through it. But you need an eBay account, which probably everybody has. Or maybe there's a website and you can buy directly from these guys, I would imagine. And maybe it's cheaper because he's got to run the ad on eBay. So he doesn't have to run the ad and all that. So maybe it's even better to go directly to him. Maybe it's $7.29. I don't know. But if you can't find it at your store, and I know Bobby is looking and Luke, you can just go ahead and find it on eBay, or we'll get the website and then just get it direct. He'll ship it to your house. You buy one, and then you can trust him and you buy some more. Now, my argument is I can't get gold's $27.70 at my guy's store. I can't buy an ounce of gold every time I go in. I don't have 2,700 every week. I can do it once a month, but not every week. So the other weeks, I can do the 700 for the quarter ounce, but he doesn't have any. So he's leaving me and either don't buy, buy once a month, but I'm afraid the prices are going to go up, or do it this way. So we'll have to see. I told him I might have to start buying eBay because he hasn't had quarter ounces in a while because he's dumping them off. I'm like, can't you save me one or two? I mean, he says, well, if you want, we'd have to buy 20 for you. Well, I'll buy one here. It's on your debit or credit card, I believe. And so we can maybe contact the place and see if you go right to the website if it's cheaper, or just buy it for $7.39 here, and then hopefully it comes within a week and off you go. So that's another way to buy it. You don't want to buy this graded shit. There's no reason to buy. I showed you what, 1,200-1,300 for graded, mint, uncirculated. We don't care about that. We want to buy gold like this. I don't care that it's graded or not. I want to buy the chip. I want the chip. I want the gold or the silver. I don't need it graded. It doesn't do anything for me that it's graded. In fact, I don't want to pay more for the grade, because when gold's 20,000 an ounce, do I give a shit if it's graded and I can get 21,000, or I can get 20,000 for the one I paid a lot less for? So that's what's coming. So try to avoid the graded shit. Try to do what I just did, and I showed you 739 or a Cougaran for 712. I mean, you're fine. An ounce of gold's an ounce of gold. Now, for $20 on a quarter ounce, I might want the Eagle. Okay. The Cougaran, the Philharmonic and the Eagle makes no sense. You buy the Eagle for $10. Even the Cougaran, I'd probably buy the Eagle for $25 more. I think it's okay. For $50, I'd buy the Cougaran. That's how it was at my guy's store. He'd sell the ounce for $2,800 and the Cougaran's $2,710. I'm like, fine, it's a no-brainer. I'll buy that. So that's the market. That's the gold. But I'm noticing a lot of these graded coins. So when I go in 1 ounce, I'm getting all these graded ones. Do not buy them. Now, why are they dumped on the market? All these you can see are dumped on eBay. My guess is people need money. I mean, pure and simple. A lot of people are losing their jobs. A lot of people are in need of this. So I see that's what's happening. So That's eBay. That's gold. Silver's all not doing anything. And again, I wouldn't buy a nothing graded. I wouldn't buy this junk silver, these Liberties, these Kennedy halves, Washington quarters. What are you wasting your time for? Just buy the fucking ounce for $30. What do you need to buy the other for? Seriously, do I need um, a quarter? What am I thinking? We'll be bartering. No, we won't be bartering. And I would do much better selling this than bartering. Are you going to barter at a grocery store? Probably not. You're going to barter at Target? No, you're not bartering at stores. You're bartering with people. So Sue has a little farm, and I need eggs, and I can barter with her for eggs, and then maybe I'd give her an ounce of silver for it. That's where maybe you give her a silver quarter for it. My mind, no, I'm buying the ounce is cheap enough at 30. And when Target and Kroger's goes to silver, they'll have silver. They'll give you nickels, dimes, quarters, and halves. And all the prices for all the goods, Coca-Cola will be a nickel. A silver nickel buys you a Coca-Cola. So if you only have the dollar, if you only have the ounce, they got change for you. That's what will happen, and that's what happened with the Romans. The Appian Way, believe me, they had change for your gold and silver. That's how people ate. I'm sure here's silver. And they didn't make money. I mean, like I said, the soldiers made an ounce of gold was their pay. I don't know if that's for the year or what, but they fought for the ounce of gold. And you took the gold away, they didn't fight. That's why they lost at the end. That's why they went out. They fucked their currency up. That's why everybody goes out. It all comes back to inflation. All right. So we'll get back to economics in a little bit. Now let's talk a little bit about foosball. So we're looking at this week's games. Well, I don't need the transfer portal anymore. Any email. Let's go through the line, then we're going to go through who needs it, and we'll go through teaser trends. Always fun topics. I don't know if people are betting teasers or they're betting money lines and parlays with all this BetMGM and FanDuel crap. You're going to lose your ass doing money lines because you're not getting fair odds, and you're going to lose your ass doing how many yards will Joe Namath throw for. You're gonna lose your ass because you're not getting fair odds, first of all, and second of all, nobody's analyzing that. We don't know how many yards this guy's going to run for or throw for. So they're like, is Stafford playing this week? Is Josh Allen? We know he's going to play one play. Joe Burrow, yeah, he'd probably throw for 400 yards. It's going to be cold, but that's it. All right, so let's go through the line. So today we've got 4:30 on, I believe it's on ABC. We've got Baltimore 20 and 41. That line hasn't changed. Cleveland's a Z team with the 41 defense, and apparently Mr. Zappe is going to be the quarterback. This guy should have been quarterback a long time ago. I don't understand that these GMs, how stupid they are. In other words, the GM can't look at a player and say he's good or bad. I can do that, but they apparently can't. And therefore, let's play him. Let's play him 5, 6, 7 weeks. And we lose, and he's got a bunch of interceptions. Okay, now I feel he stinks. Are you kidding me? What have you been looking at to see that he stinks anyway? Like Daniel Jones, like Caleb, like Fields. You watch him play one game and you go, this guy sucks. You don't. Daniels gets it. Penix gets it. Bonek, you either get it or you don't. You either read the defense, you know where you're throwing, you stay in the pocket, or you don't. And if you constantly are running around, you don't get it. That's it. You need 5 minutes of watching him in a game. Have you ever seen Caleb just sit in the pocket and read the defense and throw the ball? No, he's always running around. I don't know if he's afraid to get tackled or he's just too stupid to understand what a blitz is. But he doesn't get it, and yet Daniels does, and Penix sits there in the pocket picking you apart. He gets it right away. He gets it. So Daniel Jones doesn't get it, and O'Connell doesn't get it. Minshew kind of gets it. Levis doesn't get it. C.J. Stroud doesn't get it. So it's very easy. But see, I know what to look for, and most people don't. That's why I do so well in my picks, because I know I don't want to bet on this guy. I want to bet on that guy. So Zappy gets it. He's good. I don't know why they're putting him in now. They should have been putting him in. First of all, Deshaun Watson stinks, right? So he shouldn't even be out there. The fact you're paying him, I would just cut him, just like they did with Russell Wilson at Denver. Just like they did with Daniel Jones. They cut him. They cut Kirk Cousins. You need to cut Watson. Baltimore with Lamar, he's not it, but he runs nice. He can't throw. He's not a winner, but okay. But Baltimore's made a big mistake going with Lamar and everything. Anyway, we've got next game, Cincinnati 2.5, 48.5. Must win for Cincinnati, and then they got to wait to see what happens with Denver and Miami. Denver wins and they're in. Since he wins, they need Denver to lose and Miami to lose since he's in. So since he's playing Pitt, if Baltimore loses, then Pitt can win the North, the AFC North. So they will have some. They are prepped to play. They don't know what's going to happen. Baltimore lost to Cleveland the first time. So let's go through that. So Cleveland's a Z with a 25 defense. So it doesn't matter if it's Zappy or Joe Namath. I'm on Joe Namath today for some reason. They still have, their defense still sucks, even though they have Myles Garrett. Baltimore with an A team with a 22 defense. Lamar's 39-4, touchdowns to interceptions. So Baltimore's got a pretty good defense at times. A good quarterback eats them up. Which is not, well, Zappy's not bad, but he won't eat them up. Play against Cleveland 13-3 this year, and Baltimore's 13-3 in a teaser. So, but this is a 20-point spread. This is very high. Not sure. I'm anxious, especially with Zappy. Now, everybody, Baltimore needs it. Baltimore's at home. They've lost to Oakland at home. They barely beat Carolina, and they lost to Cleveland. They're not all that, right? They lost to Pittsburgh 18-16, but they have a good defense. So we will see. But Baltimore is not the cream of the crop. I would say Kansas City, San Diego, Buffalo, although Buffalo usually chokes. Then I'd say Detroit, Minnesota. All right. Pitt, Cincinnati, the over team with the 26 defense. Pitt's an under team with the 21. They're not scoring much. Russell Wilson, 15 touchdowns and 5 picks. Joe Burrow, 42-8, and he's not in the MVP candidate. So Lamar is 39-4. Burrow's 42-8. Burrow is the MVP by a mile. I don't know what this is. Play against road dog. There is no road dog. I thought Pittsburgh was. All right. Play against Cincinnati, 13-3 in the teaser. But they're not they're a road favorite, so I got to recalc that. My guess is this Pittsburgh's going to play. I would guess this probably. I don't know if Cincinnati can win. I think it'll be a close game. If Baltimore wins, I'm not sure the effect it'll have on Pittsburgh because then they won't need it. But the way Pitt's been playing, and I know Tomlin, they'll be playing in this game. I mean, I guarantee you J.J. Watt plays, Russell Wilson plays. There's no reason for Russell Wilson not to play and go back to Fields. Why would you do that? To see how that he sucks? So not really sure what to think there. So we've got, Cincinnati has to win. So basically, you look at that. Burrow and Chase are going to score. I think it's a little cold, but Burrow and Chase should have a big day. Maybe. I mean, you still have J.J. Watt. Pitt has that good defense. So I don't know how Pitt's going to play. If Baltimore loses, I know I would automatically go to Pitt plus 8.5 in a heartbeat. If Baltimore loses, which you figure they won't, but you do have time. This game's at 8:00, and the Baltimore game's at 4:30, so it should end 7:30. So you should have an idea late in the fourth if Baltimore's going to win or not, and then Pitt won't care, but they're going to play because they don't know what Baltimore. If Baltimore loses and then Pitt were to lose, yeah. So Pitt wants to win the division. So the only thing is Joe Burrow. They need it for sure. So you maybe go over on the game. You're not sure what Pitt does. If Fields going to play, I think Russell Wilson, he's looked like shit the last few weeks. He's playing. They need him on. So we'll see. All right, then we go to Sunday. We've got Philly 2.5, 37 to the Giants. Giants are a Z team, 25 defense. Philly, the A team with the 18. Hurts probably not playing. He hurt the finger. We'll go through injuries. And we've got the Giants. It's going to be Drew Lock again against Hurts. Play against the Giants 13-3. Philly really doesn't have trends. Philly's clinched the 2 seed, so which is really stupid. I mean, Detroit loses, they're going to the 5 seed when they should be the 2 seed. The winner of the game is the 1 seed, Detroit Mini, but the guy who comes in and loses falls down to 5 is ridiculous. They're giving Tampa and the Rams, you won your division, you're 3 and 4 seeds. When I don't think that's right. I think they should not be 3-4 seeds. It should be Detroit, the winner 1 seed, the loser 2 seed, Philly 3 seed, Washington 4 seed. You win more games, you should be rewarded, not, Tampa, you won in the worst division in football, so we'll give you a 3 seed. I mean, that's crazy. Anyway, so that's what you got. Philly, Giants. We will see. Chicago, Green Bay. Green Bay is 10-41. This line hasn't moved. You got Caleb, 19-6 against Love, 25-11. Play against the Bears, 13-3. Green Bay is 6-0 as a home favorite and 15-1 in the teaser this year. Now, Green Bay, at best, is going to be the 6th or the 7th seed. It's between them and Washington. I think if you're the 6th seed, you get Tampa or the Rams. If you're the 7th seed, you get Philly because the 1 seed gets the bye. And Minnie is the 5 seed. So Minnie's going to get, I guess, the Rams. And then the if it's Washington would get, if they're the 6th seed, gets Tampa, and whoever the 7th seed is gets to play Philly. So I'm not sure. Now, how bad is Jalen Hurts hurt? I thought he had concussion. Now it's his finger. What happened to the concussion? So I don't know. That's his excuse for sucking this year, right? So I don't know. Is Green Bay playing? I mean, it looks like it. They're a 10-point favorite. The Bears stink. Caleb's terrible. The defense is good. The offense, you've given them 3 wide receivers, but you haven't given them how to judge a blitz. Terrible draft pick. You could have had Daniels and you could have had Penix, and you drafted Caleb, another Chicago blunder. Fields, Trubisky, Caleb. You guys can't draft a quarterback if you're like the Penix. These are all number 1 draft picks. I think Fields was number 1, and then and here whatchamacallit's number 1. They keep drafting number 1 and keep drafting terrible quarterbacks. They don't. All you got to do is watch college, and you would have known that Penix and Daniels were far better than Caleb, because Caleb couldn't do anything in the big games. So it was just a matter of that. I just want to type in. Okay. Atlanta, Carolina. Now we know this is a must-win game. Atlanta is 7.5, 48. At home in the Dome. Carolina, a Z team, 31 defense. Steve Young, 12 touchdowns, 9 picks. This explains Steve Young. Penix is just 1 and 2, although the 1 interception was at the goal line, should have been caught. Kyle Pitts is a bust, big time. Carolina play against Atlanta, 13-3, but that's Kirk Cousins, not Penix. So you got to throw that out. Play against Carolina, though, we can play 27-6. Play against Carolina this year as a road dog, 14-3. So we can play against Carolina because it's mostly Steve Young. And Atlanta must-win game. If Tampa loses, they win, and they're in the playoffs. So Atlanta's going to play. New Orleans and Tampa, same thing. Tampa, win and you're in. Pretty good incentive. New Orleans is all done. Tampa 14-44. This was 13 for a while. New Orleans, an under team, 23 defense. Spencer Rattler, who's 3 touchdowns, 5 picks, which is what's wrong with Spencer Rattler. Tampa Bay, the Baker, 39 touchdowns and 15 interceptions. Tampa's 14-2 in a teaser this year, 30-5 over 2 years. So Tampa covers. New Orleans with Rattler has very little chance here. Rattler's terrible. Now, why you drafted him, I have no idea. He sucked at Oklahoma, and if you suck in that offense with Lincoln Riley, you suck. Goes to South Carolina, he's terrible, and you draft him instead of drafting somebody, Hartman, let's say. I'd rather have Hartman over Rattler. Problem with Hartman is he's on Washington where Daniels is. So what are you going to do with him? So here, Tampa, 14-2, 30-5. So it's a real, it's a strong Tampa play. And New Orleans is terrible and out of it. So Tampa and Atlanta both need to win. They're both on at the same time. I expect them both to pound. Washington, Dallas. Washington, 6.5, 44. This line's been moving up. B team, Washington, 23 defense. Daniels, 25 and I think 4. 14-2 in the teaser this year. Play against Dallas as a home dog, 6-0. Play against Dallas this year, 13-3. But that's been mostly with Dak. Now you've got with Cooper Rush, so the stats meaningless. Dallas, an E team with a 28 defense with Micah Parsons, hard to figure. Cooper Rush, 12 touchdowns, 5 picks, far better than Dak. So here, Washington, in Green Bay, I think, are playing for the 6th seed, and the Rams or Tampa, then the 7th seed and have to play at Philly. Philly's got the better defense. That's about it. And Barkley, Tampa's got the better quarterback in Mayfield, the Baker. You got the Rams. You probably want to play the Rams, right? But I think that's Minnesota. I think they get it. Well, I don't know who's. It's the Rams or Tampa. One of them's the 5. One of them's the 3. One of them's the 4. So I want to be whoever plays the Rams. I have a good chance of beating the Rams, better than Tampa, and definitely better than Philly. It's screwed up. Minnesota should have a home playoff game. This is absolutely ridiculous. It's about as stupid as college. Jacksonville, Indy 3.5, 43.5. Why do I talk about this game? I have no idea. It's on the schedule. Jacksonville, a Z team, 26 defense. Matt Jones, 7 touchdowns, 7 picks. Indy, even team, 25 defense. Flacco, 11 touchdowns, 7 picks. Play against Jacksonville, play against Indy at home, 7-0. Play against Indy for the whole year, 16-0. Play against Indy the last 2 years, 28-5. Play against Jacksonville as a road dog, 6-1. Play against Jacksonville this year, 14-2. We got a bunch of picks. Now you can see the problem. Jones, 7 touchdowns, 7 picks, and I don't know if Lawrence was any better. Flacco, 11 touchdowns, 7 picks. Richardson's probably done. He hurt his back. So you can see the problem right away. Jones, 7 touchdowns, 7 picks. We look at Burrow, 42 touchdowns, 8 picks. Russell Wilson, 15 touchdowns, only 5 picks. So you can see why these teams are good. Even Lamar, 39-4. But none of them were in big time to win a game. Rattler, 3 touchdowns, 5 picks. We'll get to these other games, but you can see right away why the team sucks. Their quarterback sucks. 5 touchdowns, 7 picks. That's why you lose. You don't score and you give up these picks. Houston, Tennessee, 1.5, 36.5. We've got Buffalo, obviously the A team. Obviously, Josh Allen, 28-6. Not playing, though. He'll play the first snap, say, I played. Okay, and go to the bench. New England, the Z team, 25 defense. Drake May, 15 touchdowns and 10 picks. So you can see what's wrong with Drake May. Now, when we compare him to Daniels, has 25 and 9 picks, or 4. I'm not sure. I can't read that part. That's the difference. Daniels 25-4. Let's look at Bo Nix. Bo Nix 25-12. That's why they're good. They've got 25 touchdowns, 10, 11 picks. Bo Nix started 0-4, so he's really 25-8. That's why they're better. That's why their teams are winning, is the quarterback play. That's what you get when you can read a defense. We look at Caleb, and he's 19-6. Doesn't get the touchdowns with the good receivers and still 6 picks. So Buffalo, he's not going to play. They're resting. I don't know. New England's a Z team. Now, May does get you 15 touchdowns, but he gets you 10 interceptions. So he gets you more scoring. He runs way too much. He doesn't know what he's doing. These quarterbacks that take off running, you're playing right into the defense's hand. I don't have to guard the receivers. You can't take advantage of. Watch what Minnesota does. Look what San Francisco did to the Lions. They kept throwing the ball at that Arnold guy, number 0, and he gets 10 pass interferences in the game, and he can't guard anybody. Well, watch what Minnesota does on Monday. They're going to throw to Jefferson on this. Whoever Arnold's guarding, either Addison or Jefferson's going to get the ball. You're going to get 2 or 3 pass interferences, and he can't guard anybody. So that's really the point. You've got to be careful who you're guarding and take advantage of it. But how can Drake May or Caleb take advantage of Arnold when all these guys want to do is run, or CJ Stroud? They can't. They got to stay in the pocket, let the route develop and throw the ball. All right, but they can't do that because they don't know how to read a defense and they don't stay in the pocket. So you can't take advantage of this shit quarterback that the wonderful GM of the Lions makes me want to throw up from Alabama, who never has a good cornerback. So you want to throw up with these guys, and then yet nobody wants to say he sucks. Well, he's doing okay. He gets pass interference calls every game. That's not normal. That's not a good cornerback. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. You made a bad draft pick. He's a starter. Minnesota's going to eat this guy alive. And they're going to do all they can to get Jefferson on this guy, and Jefferson's going to have 250 yards. They're not going to stop Minnesota's offense. So we look at it now. Here's Houston, an under team with the 22. I'm so excited. Daria's texting me. So Tennessee's 1.5, 36.5. What's going on in this game? Houston, an under team with the 22 defense. Stroud, 19 touchdowns, 12 picks. So I warn you against. He's not it. He's not that good. Not when Nix is 25-12 and Daniels is 25-9. Do I think Stroud is 19-12 is all that. Against the competition he plays, he should be at least 30-5. He plays Tennessee, Indy, and Jacksonville. None of them have a defense. Tennessee's a Z team. Jacksonville's a Z team, and Indy is a 25 defense. You should be lighting these teams up. So Houston and under with the 22. Tennessee's a Z with the 27. We've got, I think Levis is going to play or Rudolph. Rudolph's 9-9. Levis isn't any better. Stroud 19-12. Play against Tennessee's a home team 7-0. Play against Tennessee. Play against Tennessee's 14-2, 27-6 the last 2 years. Play against Houston 14-2 this year. So both teams suck. You play against them. What's going on here? So if Stroud's not playing, is their backup? What is it? Davis, the guy who used to be their starter? I don't know. I mean, this is an under game, but you've got a 27 defense Tennessee, and you got a 36 total. Yeah, it's hard to go under. It's like the Eagle game last week where it got down to 38, and I wanted to go over, and they scored 50 in the game. I'd rather go over 30 and just get some points. All right. Buffalo, New England. Buffalo 3.5. 36.5. Buffalo an A team, 22 defense. Allen 28-6. New England's a Z team. 25 defense. Again, Drake made 15 touchdowns and 10 picks. Allen's not going to play 28-6. I don't know who their backup is. Buffalo's basically clinched the 2 seed. They just don't want to get people injured. New England, they suck. The coach sucks. I don't know what to tell you here. This is not a good team. And yet Buffalo's favored. Basically, the Buffalo second team is favored over the New England starters. Does the Z team play this week? I don't know. 36.5. Drake May will get you points and give you up point. There'll be points in the Drake May game. He'll score a couple touchdowns and he'll throw a few picks. Question with Buffalo is their backup's probably pretty good. They'll probably still throw the ball because in case Allen gets hurt, they want their backup to actually throw the ball a little bit. So I think this goes over 36, but we got to check the weather. Denver, 10.5, 40 to Kansas City. KC, the 18 with the 18 defense. Is Mahomes playing and for how long? Mahomes 26-11. Denver, a B team, 19 defense. Bo Nix 25-12, as I said. Denver 7-0 at home, 27-6 the last 2 years, 15-1 in a teaser this year, second only to nobody. I think there's a few 15-1s. And KC's 13-3 in a teaser. So Denver at home has to win. Even if Cincinnati loses, if Miami wins and they lose, they're out. So Denver's in a must-win no matter what Cincinnati does. They're laying 10. KC, Andy Reid's going to play his players. He plays them in preseason. That's why they win Super Bowls. That's why these other teams lose, because they're afraid to get injured. Two strong defenses. Without Mahomes, I think this is very obvious which way to play this game. That's how I played it. I think Denver, I don't know I can trust them to cover a touchdown. KC does not lose 40-0, even with their backups. And most of their defense probably plays. Okay, Kelsey and Mahomes maybe just play the first quarter. Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't play at all. We will see. But they get the bye. So it's tough to take the bye this week and then take the bye next week and then play. You don't want like Mahomes and Kelsey to not play in 3 weeks. I guarantee you that. They will not win if they are out 3 weeks. 2 weeks is one thing, but to not play them this week and then to get the bye and then play them. So basically they played last week. It'll be 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They'll be rusty as shit. Peyton Manning used to do that. And how did they do? Oh, yeah, they lost every fucking time when they took the bye and the week off and rested. And guess what? They were rusty. They lost all their timing. Or Peyton Manning just sucked, one of the two. Not a big Peyton Manning fan. Let's see. So, Denver in a must win, but I think the spread's high. I don't trust Reed and KC, and they're just going to fall down. Better if they were playing Carolina or the Giants or New Orleans, I would lay the 10. Arizona 4.5, 43 to the Niners. What do you do here? Purdy, is he playing 17-10? Kyler Murray 17-11. This is why both teams suck this year. I mean, Kyler Murray 17-11. There's no trends this year on either team. Frisco's an E team with the 23, I think. Arizona's an under team with the 22. The problem is they haven't been scoring. The new coach at Arizona is clueless. Kyler Murray doesn't fit his system. You're either getting rid of the coach or Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray just wants to run, and when he can't run, they do nothing. Like when they play Seattle doesn't let them run, and they score 6 points a game there. So if you stop him from running, you stop Murray. I don't know. Arizona doesn't need the game. They're out. The Niners played the Lions really good. I would imagine they're going to play Arizona pretty good. I think they want to go out a winner. I don't think they're just going to quit. I mean, you don't win Super Bowls or get to Super Bowls and then, let's let Arizona kick our ass. Not in football. I think the Niners are a live dog here. 4.5. Why is Arizona favored? Did they get good all of a sudden? Miami and the JETSs. Two sites have Miami as the favorite. One site has FanDuel has the Jets at 1.5. And Caesars has the Jets even. Miami's in a must-win, no matter what. If Cincinnati wins and Miami wins, Miami goes. The only way Miami doesn't go is if Denver wins. So if Cincinnati wins, then that makes Miami have to win because Denver's playing at the same time. But you probably don't have Tag. You probably have Huntley, the backup, who is much better than Tag. So Tag might have a smooth release, but he don't know what team he's throwing it, and he's injury prone. Both are under teams. Miami 21 defense. I don't know where that's coming from. The Jets are 24. Maybe you go to FanDuel and take Miami as the 7.5 point dog. I mean, I think you got to bet Miami as a dog in this game. The Jets suck anyway. Play against the Jets this year, 15-1. The last 2 years, 27-6. You can't count. Rodgers didn't play last year, so we look at this year, 15-1 again. So he's not really helping. Him and Devontae Adams, they're scoring a little bit more. I don't know what you get. You get the weather, which we're going to go through, and I don't know. Let's see that. Seattle, 6.5, 38.5 to the Rams. This is down from 40. There's no weather. This game's in a dome, so I don't know why the under's going down. Stafford, 20-8. And Geno Smith, 17-15. So you like Geno Smith. 17 touchdowns, 15 picks. Do you really like Geno Smith? The Rams, 13-3 in a teaser. They've been hot with Puka and Cooper Kupp. Theoretically, they should win the game and get a better draw than Tampa. I mean, they're either the 3 or the 4, and I'm not sure. It doesn't give records here. We'll go into the standings in a minute. So much homework to do. So I don't know. And then I hear Stenson Benson's not the backup. It's Garoppolo. Well, we know he stinks. I can't believe they're not using Stenson Bennett. Why aren't you using Stenson Benson here? He's good. Garoppolo is terrible. So he's the backup if he starts. That shows you how people think about him. The Seattle went up to 6.5 when they learned Garoppolo's going to be the starter, I guess. I disagree with that. Stafford should play the first half, and Kupp and Nuka, and keep the timing down. They'll play next week, so we will see. But Seattle's terrible. I hate the coach. Terrible. They're using Smith and Jima way too much, and they're not using Pickett. Pickett's the good one, and then you're losing with DK Metcalf, and you got a defensive coach, and the defense sucks, and you got no offense, and you got rid of Coach Pete. I mean, incredibly stupid organization. Hard to understand them. San Diego and Oakland. San Diego, 4.5, 41.5. Maybe they'll do the holy roller. That was in a San Diego Oakland game. Stabler was near the end. They're down 4-5. He's getting sacked. He fumbles the ball ahead. Dave Casper kicks it, moves it 10 yards into the end zone and falls on it. That's why in the 4th down, you got to recover your own fumble. That is the Oakland Raiders at their finest. They won the game with it. Casper recovered, and that's why that rule got changed. San Diego 4.5. So if it's not Herbert, it's going to be Stick. Really? Is he really going to help you? He's terrible. Herbert, 21-3. Oh, Caleb, 19-6. Herbert, 21-3. Yeah, well, we can see. Stroud, 19-12. Levis, 9-9. Drake May, 15-10. Oh, yeah, Herbert, 21-3. I mean, it's simple why teams are good. It's as simple as that. O'Connell, I guess, 6-3 for Oakland. Only gets you 6 touchdowns. That's their problem. Oakland's a Z team, 25 defense. San Diego is a B team, 18 defense. Let's see. San Diego, 9-0 is a road favorite the last 2 years. 14-2 in a teaser. 27-6 the last 2 years. They're really good, but if they're going to play stick, how do you bet on it? And so that's the problem. In our last game, Minnesota, Detroit, we got Detroit is 3 now. And down to 55.5 you can get, or 56. This game started at 52 when I bet it, and then went up to 56, and I had to bet it again because I keep putting losers with them. First Boise over, then I put Oregon instead of Oregon over. It's like, Jesus Christ. It's Darnold against Goff. Darnold, 35 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. Golf, I don't know because I did it Monday before he played, after the Niner game. Both are 18s. Benny in 19 defense. Detroit, the last 4 games have been a 32 defense. Minnesota, 30-3 the last 2 years, 15-1 this year. Detroit, 13-3 in a teaser this year. Detroit, like I said, Arnold Jefferson might have 250 yards. Many will go up and down the field on him. Frisco did. Detroit got lucky to get the interceptions, or they would have lost to Frisco. Frisco had them. Detroit has no defense. Great offense. They're a 37-32 the last month. 37 offense, 32 defense. Minnesota is an 18 with a very strong defense and a very strong offense. And everybody's knocking Darnold, and I'm like, he's 35-12. What are you knocking him for? At what point? That's when you realize he's good. And you realize Cousins sucks is you look at the touchdown interception, and that's it. All right, let's go to the weather. So I go to my NFL weather, and I refresh because I don't trust they're giving me. All right, Baltimore, Cleveland says sunny and 32 with strong winds. That means more running. That means an under game. Total of 41. I didn't play the total in this game, but with Zappy, you might get an over. Let's get into it. 32 degrees, 17-mile-an-hour winds, mostly clear with a low around 21. West wind 9 to 15 with gusts. Yeah, I don't care about the gusts because that just boom, boom, in and out. The quarterback can wait on it. If it's real gusty, just don't hike it or go to a run play. Baltimore needs it, so weather not a big factor there. A little rain. Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, it's 21 and clear with 9-mile-an-hour winds. Anything we need to see? 21, mostly cloudy. Mostly cloudy with a low around 15. West wind 7 to 10 miles an hour with gusts as high as 12. So really no weather. A little bit cold. About 15, but Cincinnati plays in the cold weather. Pitt, obviously, they're at home. But I don't think it's going to stop Burrow and Chase, and, they shouldn't have a problem because it's a little bit cold out. Burrow is from Ohio. All right. Carolina, Atlanta is in a dome. We don't care. Washington, Dallas is in a dome. We don't care. Chicago, Green Bay, we got sunny. 17, 8-mile-an-hour winds, mostly sunny. High near 21, with temperatures falling about 19. And so that's real balmy for Chicago, Green Bay. Weather will have no effect there. Houston, Tennessee, 40 with rain, 9-mile-an-hour. We're not going to pay much attention to that. Indies in a dome. Buffalo, New England, 30 degrees, partly cloudy, 13-mile-an-hour winds. Partly cloudy with a low around 16. Northwest winds 6 to 9 miles an hour. Low around 16. So a little bit of cold, but Buffalo, New England are used to it. You have a little bit of wind, and you got pretty good temperatures, 30, 25. So this is not affected, and we'll see. Again, you got no Josh Allen. The Giants, and Philly doesn't matter. 33 with a chance of snow, 20-mile-an-hour winds. 33, 19 mile, mostly cloudy, then light snow. So it's really a wind thing. Snow after 1 a.m., mostly cloudy, then west wind 5 to 10. That's not a problem. Chance of snow 80%, new snow. So you're really pretty mild. I don't know about this 19-mile-an-hour wind, but you'll get some wind there. It's Philadelphia. It'll be cold, but both these teams, the Giants and Philly, are used to it. It won't be anything there. Again, the total's 37, so maybe you'd bet it, but it's so low, I don't know. New Orleans, Tampa, 70 degrees and chance of showers, not much wind. This was like last week. It didn't rain. Partly cloudy, low around 58, winds 3 to 7 miles an hour. So I don't know. It shows rain, but it says partly cloudy. Chance of showers. KC, Denver, sunny and 33 with low wind. The Raiders are in a dome. The Rams are in a dome. Miami and the Jets, 34 chance of snow. Okay, this is Miami needs it. 34 with 13-mile-an-hour wind, partly cloudy. Partly low around 26, wind chill at 22, west wind. So that's why the money's going on the Jets, because Miami's scared of the cold. Oh, poor babies. So this is the problem. They don't play well in the cold, but this is a playoff game, and the Jets are so unorganized. Arizona's in a dome, and Detroit's in a dome. So that's your weather. Let's go to Google. We'll give major injuries. We don't care about everybody. So usually when I go in here, you go to the news bracket, and then it gives you like injury updates. Mike Vrabel to the Jets plus Baker Mayfield among Pro Bowls. Browns' Myles Garrett prefers to mess up Ravens' division chances, as he should. See, that's the guy you want. Myles Garrett wants to beat Baltimore. We know the stakes. NFL draft order, who cares? Quarterback room. NFL injuries, news updates. Jalen Hurts remains in concussions protocol with his hurt finger. Brock Purdy out with right elbow contusion. So that means, who do we get for Purdy? His season's done. He's only got this game. So with Purdy out, Garoppolo is apparently not on the team. Trey Lance is on Dallas. He sucks. Will Jalen Hurts be back in the fold for the wild card weekend playoff opener? So I might want to play Philadelphia because with Hurts out, Pickett's terrible. Tyler Huntley, but Tag could return from a hip injury against the Jets to help. They're better off with Huntley. So again, is it for Miami? Is it Tua or Huntley? I prefer Huntley. So they're probably a live dog, the Jets. Hurts is out. Tua's doubtful. Brock Purdy to miss. This is stupid. Seahawks prank rookie Byron Murphy with a fake $156,000 dinner receipt. Why would he think it would be real? How could you spend $156,000 at dinner? Jalen Hurts still in concussion. Eagles back up with Kenny Pickett and Tanner McKee leading the way. Will Tua be back? He's doubtful. Brock Purdy to miss. Told reporters that Purdy will miss the Week 18 game against the right elbow. Purdy was sacked inside the 2-minute warning of the 49ers. Lions. So they used Joshua Dobbs. Oh, no wonder everybody's betting on Arizona. So Dobbs would be the quarterback, and we know he stinks. What is he doing on the team? He's terrible. Brock Purdy sure gets hurt a lot. NFL announces Pro Bowl rosters. Who gives a fuck? Let's see. So is that all our injuries? Anthony Richardson's back injury kept him from standing or walking. Could be a chronic condition. Yeah, I've already read that. Anthony Richardson, 8 touchdowns, probably not too many, and probably a lot more interceptions. See, this is the problem. The quarterback needs to get you. You got Burrow getting 40 touchdowns. You're getting 8. You wonder why they suck. Let's see. Trevor Lawrence gets $55 million a year. These are idiots. Hasn't lived up to his billing. He's never lived up. How did you pay him? Oh my God. All these quarterbacks that suck getting these big contracts. Barkley to sit week 18. We know that. Packers Jaire Alexander, surgery on his right knee, so he's out. Cowboys release Ezekiel Elliott. He was never any good. So I'm not seeing really any other. Jack Allen to play briefly versus Patriots, that one play. Ten teams are going to fire their coach on Monday. I love it. The problem is they won't hire a good coach. All right, so that is that. So Baltimore must win starting off. They win, Pittsburgh's goes to the 5 seed, I think, and then Cincinnati then must win. Pittsburgh's out of it as far as the division, and then Cincinnati is hunting for the wild card with Denver and Miami. Philly doesn't need it. Green Bay, if they want to get a better seed as a 6th versus a 7th wild card, then that's what they do. If they want to beat the Bears, who they hate, and they're in it with Washington, them in Washington for the 6th or 7th seed. I don't know if they're going to play. Atlanta, Tampa both need the game. If Atlanta wins and Tampa loses, they're in. And if Tampa wins, they're in without, even if Atlanta wins. So Tampa's really in control here. Atlanta will play, hope that Tampa loses against New Orleans, but they're playing Carolina. So both should win easy. Washington, Dallas, hopes Green Bay loses and they can get a 6 seed instead of a 7. Who cares? KC, Denver. Denver needs it. KC will be resting. The Rams apparently are not going. They're with Stafford. I guess it would be Garoppolo. Where's Stenson Benson? San Diego, Oakland. I don't know. San Diego, did they have the 5th? Well, I guess them and Pittsburgh are going for 5th and 6th seed. Does it really matter? San Diego can beat anybody. And then Detroit Mini Monday night for the 1 seed. Should be a very, 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 very high scoring game. That's it. Now let's look at the college playoff only because I don't really give a fuck about anything else in college. It's so frustrating. Just to try to, you got to read who's sitting out, who's not sitting out, who's starting. It's a fucking nightmare. And even this playoff is a nightmare. What do we got? We've got Notre Dame, Penn State. Penn State should not be in the playoffs. Who did they beat? Nobody. Notre Dame, 1.5 and 47, which seems like a high total. Notre Dame's an A team, and Penn State's an A team. Penn State with the 16 defense gave up 14 to Boise. Notre Dame with the 13 defense gave up 10 to Georgia. This looks like a low-scoring game. 47. Where are they getting 47 from? But I'm not fucking around with the teams. They're so inconsistent, and it's totally fixed because we're not seeing what we saw the whole year. So it's stupid. Ohio State is 6, 53.5 to Texas. This got to be an over. Both are A teams. Texas, 15 defense. They gave up 31 to Arizona, so let's make them a 17 defense. Arizona State. Ohio State with an 11 defense, except for they gave up 21, so we'll call them a 13 defense. So Ohio State, Oregon looks like an under game. 11 against the 17 goes, and it's a 62. How Oregon? I got to watch that Oregon game. I keep looking for it, but I'm not seeing it. So that's what you got. These are January 9th and January 10th. Who the fuck's making this schedule? So January 11th is next Saturday. Why wouldn't you have the games on Saturday? Oh, because you got the NFL playoffs. So you're fucked. You have a playoff that you're going to have a Thursday night game and a Friday night game from Hard Rock Stadium. I don't know where that is. And it's Notre Dame, Penn State, and it's on what? I don't know where Hard Rock Stadium is. I think is that the Orange Bowl? Is that in Florida? We don't have. I don't know the TV, and then Ohio State and Texas. at the Jerry Dome. Somebody said it was in the Cotton Bowl. It's not in the Cotton Bowl. This is the Jerry Dome. There's a big difference. So it's a Texas home game. Seems fair in a bowl game. A lot of these home games. So Ohio State 6, Texas. Are they going to be flat after beating Oregon? Probably. Texas can't be flat because they got lucky to beat Arizona State. They shouldn't have beat them. So I would think this is an over, and I would think the other is an under. Notre Dame, Penn State. Notre Dame didn't score on Georgia. They caused a strip sack fumble at the 5 for one touchdown and a kickoff return for another. Take that away, and Notre Dame won. They lost 10-9, which is what probably the score should have been. So I did hit the under in the game, but I also had Georgia in 7. With I don't get the kickoff return, I win. It's 16-10, and I win it. Ohio State, Oregon. I gotta see what the fuck happened there. It's a joke. Not that Ohio State scored 41, but how did Oregon only get 21? They played earlier 33-32, something like that. So I'm scratching my head. Oregon choking. The coach is always a choker, this Oregon coach. He choked against Washington in the championship game last year, and now he's choked against Ohio State. Why is Oregon playing Ohio State in the first round? This should be the championship game instead of Boise, Penn State, Texas, or Arizona State, who Oregon should have played. So why is Penn State playing Boise and Penn State playing SMU? Where did this come from? They're a third place Big Ten team with 2 losses, and they haven't played anybody. They lost to Ohio State. So how does they get ahead of Ohio State? And then they lose, and then they get killed by Oregon, and yet they get a better seed than Oregon. These people running this playoff are just fucking clueless. They really don't know what they're doing. Their times are ridiculous. Home field is ridiculous. These should not be home field games. Huge advantage, and that's not what you want in a playoff. It's like the basketball tournament. You don't have home games. Well, Duke always plays in North Carolina, but not at Duke. You're not going to get the best team's not even in here. That's Oregon and Georgia. So what are you fucking doing? Penn State, Notre Dame. Penn State should not even be in the playoff. Texas, Ohio State. Neither team should be in the playoff. Texas lost twice to Georgia. They're out. Ohio State lost to Michigan. How is Ohio State in here? Right. So this is just bullshit. And that's it. All right. A little M. McGuire. Well, he's not even been on. I don't know. His friend was sick. Maybe his friend had a hard time. All right, so let's see what Egon's talking about today.
My first mortgage in 1973 in England, I paid 21%. 21% on my mortgage to borrow my house. The trend has been down now for 40 years, and the trend in interest rate has turned. We are in for a long-term inflationary period with high interest rates. Just remember that if you have mortgages, whatever, to fix them if you can for a long period. And don't borrow money if you can avoid it. My first mortgage in 1970.
That wasn't that good. Donald Trump's big warning. All he does is talk about himself. He's going to kill the economy with his tariffs. It'll kill the economy. This is what I'm doing. This is our doctor, and what it is coconut oil and castor oil. I mix them together, put them in. I nuke them for like 15 seconds just to get them liquid. And then I put it here and I put it here. And I notice a lot of here growing up top. I can't see my bald spot. It's not bald, but my spot. So we will see. But hey, Pedro. Happy New Year to you, Pedro. So that's what you do. So if you're bald and you want it to grow back, I bought the jar of coconut oil. I've got the castor oil. I pour a little bit in, mix it up, make it paste, and I just cover my head and I just leave it there all day. I'll sleep with it on, or I will simply, like now I didn't put it on because I'm going to go swimming, and then I'll do that after. Anyway, but that's the castor oils for a lot. Let's see. So we did.
The whole banking system is rotten. First of all, the Swiss banking system is about 5 times Swiss GDP, much too big for the country. Today, you might not have seen it, the Swiss National Bank, which is the biggest and most speculative hedge fund in the world. They just came out with a loss of 142 billion Swiss francs, and that's more than Swiss GDP. They've been a speculative hedge fund for years now. They're selling Swiss francs and holding euros and dollars primarily, and then they're holding a big portfolio in US stocks, and they're holding gold also, but only 1,000 tons, which is not very much. And they're not totally owned by the state. The cantons own half of them. So this is another disaster, and proves that even the Swiss banking system, which was the most safe in the world until they adapted the US methods of banking with high leverage, speculation, derivatives, etc. We'll probably come on to it, but derivatives is what is going to make this system collapse. Are you sick?
Europe, often seen as the cradle of stability, innovation, and prosperity, is facing a storm it might not be ready to weather. Beneath its picturesque landscapes and centuries-old cities lies a brewing crisis that could shatter the continent's unity. What if I told you that some of the most iconic nations are balancing on a razor's edge, teetering toward what some might call collapse? From economic implosions to political chaos, and from societal unrest to demographic disasters, these countries are navigating treacherous waters. The unthinkable is starting to seem inevitable. No, this isn't just another conspiracy theory. These cracks in the foundation are real. Imagine powerhouse nations like Germany or France, the backbone of the European Union, struggling under the weight of their own systems. Or picture smaller countries like Greece and Hungary gasping for air amid mounting crises. The dominoes are lined up. One sharp push could send them all crashing down. But what's causing this unraveling? Corruption, overloaded economies, global pressures? Yes, all that and more. These nations are facing unprecedented challenges that could reshape not only their futures, but the entire European landscape. So, buckle up as we take a deep dive into the top 10 European countries that might not withstand the test of time. The signs are already here. Can they be ignored any longer? Number 10. Germany. What happens when the strongest among us begins to falter? In the heart of Europe, the economic titan that once carried the weight of an entire continent is now battling headwinds that could bring its momentum to a grinding halt. Yes, we're talking about Germany, the so-called engine of Europe, which is now sputtering under mounting challenges. Germany's economy, Europe's largest, is in trouble. In 2023, its GDP shrank by 0.3% in the second quarter, officially placing it in a recession. Manufacturing, the backbone of its economy, has been hit hard, with industrial output falling by 10% compared to the previous year. The automotive sector, once a global benchmark, is struggling to adapt to electric vehicle competition and supply chain issues. Meanwhile, skyrocketing energy costs, driven by the loss of Russian gas supplies, are crippling businesses and households alike. Electricity prices surged to 0.40 per kilowatt hour.
So costs have gone up. Demand for their cars have gone down. The electric cars are competing. More people are buying them. They're buying so if Mercedes has an electric car, people are buying the Chinese electric car. That's why they want to tariff it, because China is using the gold to keep the price of the cars down. So they subsidize the manufacturer, although there's a bunch of fires with the Chinese can't make a good car. Don't buy a Chinese electric. If you're going to buy an electric, they catch on fire all the time. But I wouldn't buy any Chinese product unless it's like a toy or something. So Germany's falling, and then it's the domino, and then we'll get into these other countries.
The highest in the EU. The demographic crisis erupted after President Emmanuel Macron forced through controversial pension reforms without a parliamentary vote. The proposed changes, raising the retirement age from 62 to 64, sparked weeks of strikes and riots, costing the economy an estimated 2 kilowatt hour, the highest in the EU. The demographic crisis only deepens the gloom. Germany's population is aging rapidly, with over 21% of its citizens now over 65 years old. By 2030, it's projected that the workforce could shrink by up to 4 million people, leaving industries desperate for skilled labor. Immigration has not kept pace, and social tensions are rising over the strain on public services. Politically, the once stable nation is facing fractures. The Green Party's climate initiatives clash with traditional industries, while far-right parties gain momentum, capitalizing on economic and cultural anxieties. These divisions risk stalling Germany's ability to lead the EU through crises. Is Germany destined for collapse? Perhaps not. But the cracks are clear, and the ripple effects across Europe are undeniable. And if Germany is struggling, can the rest of Europe be far behind? Let's turn to its neighbor, a nation of protests and revolutions. France. Number 9, France. How long can a nation thrive when its people take to the streets at every turn? France, the land of liberté, égalité, and fraternité, is now synonymous with another word: unrest. Beneath its romantic facade is a country grappling with systemic fractures that could lead to its undoing. France is no stranger to turmoil, but recent years have pushed it to the brink. In 2020, Italy. Number 8. Italy. What happens when a nation's future is mortgaged by its past? For years, one European country has been battling a vicious cycle of debt, political turmoil, and stagnation. The spotlight now turns to Italy, a nation famous for its art and cuisine, but infamous for its crumbling economy and unstable governments. Italy's national debt stands at a staggering 2.77 trillion euros, over 144% of its GDP, the second highest debt to GDP ratio in the EU after Greece. Servicing this debt costs the government more than 65 billion euros annually, leaving little room for meaningful investment in infrastructure or innovation. Decades of sluggish economic growth haven't helped either. GDP grew by just 0.1% in 2023, barely keeping the country afloat. Youth unemployment is another ticking time bomb, sitting at an alarming 22%. Many of Italy's brightest minds are leaving in droves, with an estimated 100,000 Italians emigrating annually in search of better opportunity.
So there's no jobs, the economy's shrinking, and so Italy's got trouble. France has got trouble. Again, a lot of extra costs, Social Security costs. And it's all coming back to here. It'll be in the US soon. This is what it looks like, and this is what happens. So they're all going to collapse because they're spending more than they're taking in, and that's the problem. So we have to see. But with Italy, with Europe going down, who does the US trade with? All the currencies will be worthless. The euro will be worthless because there's no country if you don't make money, you go out of business. So what do the countries do that they don't make money with? All right. So Italy's in big fucking trouble. Seven is Greece. 6 is Hungary.
While Orban's supporters champion his nationalist policies, including strict immigration controls,
This is
others
Hungary.
worry these moves alienate Hungary from its key allies. Socially, brain drain remains a pressing issue. Over 600,000 Hungarians have left the country since 2010, seeking better opportunities abroad. This exodus, coupled with one of Europe's lowest birth rates, 1.5 children per woman, threatens Hungary's long-term economic prospects. Hungary's path forward is uncertain, and its struggles highlight the broader tensions between national Ukrainians have fled the country, while millions more are internally displaced, creating a demographic and economic crisis that will take decades to recover from. Politically, Ukraine's resolve has been inspiring, with President Volodymyr Zelensky
This guy's the
emerging as a
biggest
symbol of
crook in
resilience.
the world.
Yet, the government faces immense pressure to maintain unity, root out corruption, and continue reforms, all while waging war. The promise of EU candidate status has provided hope, but the path to membership is fraught with hurdles. International aid has been a lifeline, with the EU, US, and other allies pledging over $100 billion in financial and military support. However, this reliance raises questions about Ukraine's long-term economic independence. Despite these challenges, Ukraine's spirit remains unbroken.
Bullshit.
The war has galvanized a
Ukraine's in big trouble.
strained its EU accession talks, even as the country receives billions in EU pre-accession funding. The Kosovo question looms large. Serbia's refusal to recognize Kosovo's independence remains a flashpoint for regional instability. Tensions flared again in 2023, with violent clashes in northern Kosovo highlighting the fragile peace. This unresolved issue not only hampers Serbia's EU aspirations, but also risks reigniting broader ethnic tensions in the Balkans. Socially, Serbia is grappling with brain drain, as thousands of young, educated citizens leave each year for better opportunities abroad. Combined with a declining birth rate of 1.5 children per woman, this exodus poses a long-term threat to the country's demographic and economic stability. Serbia's balancing act is becoming harder to sustain, and cracks are beginning to show. But as Serbia struggles with its identity and future, its neighbor Romania faces its own battles with corruption and stagnation. Number 1. Romania. What happens when a country...
A lot of corruption there. So all these countries in Europe are going through a big problem. And there's a little from Alligator. I don't know where Mark McGuire is. He hasn't been on.
Ever known in history. This is larger than John Law. It is larger than South Sea Bubble. This is the big one. It is larger than the dot-com bubble. It was up there with the extremes. This is twice as big. I mean, when this bursts, it is going, there's nothing, absolutely nothing any central bank can do about it. The one thing above all is interest rates. The market, which is comprised of Keynesians, I suppose, really, think that interest rates are completely under the control of the central banks. They're not. Interest rates are rising, and they're rising for two reasons. Firstly, governments are in debt traps, so that the level at which you fund government debt inevitably means higher yields. And the second thing is that with most economies stalling, in 2025, banks see increasing risk lending into the private sectors. Now, an individual bank can reduce its credit exposure, reduce its balance sheet, but it can only do that if another bank or other banks increase theirs. Unless, of course, you get non-performing loans, in which case debt gets written off and deposits on the other side also get written off. And the other thing, I suppose, is if banks themselves go bust, then their whole balance sheet is taken out of the credit system, disappears. The central banks will do whatever they can to ensure that the latter doesn't happen. Now, having said that, you can see that if you look at the US Treasury 10-year, which we take, if you like, as the sort of marker for global bond markets, that's meant to be the risk-free. Risk-free, honestly, these guys have got no idea. But anyway, that's meant to be the risk-free bond. I can see the yield on that going over 5%. At the moment, it is rising. And if you look at the chart, actually, the chart's very interesting because you've got a golden cross underneath the yield, rising yield. So it's all going in the, in a bullish formation, which tells us that yields are going to rise. Again, this is where market commentators get the relationship between gold and yields completely wrong. They think that if you get a higher yield, it makes gold less attractive because gold yields 0 or 1% or on a lease rate or whatever. But what they ignore is the whole purpose of gold is actually to hedge out of credit. And what we're looking at in terms of credit is fiat currencies, and particularly in this case, the dollar. So if the value of the dollar starts going down in terms of its purchasing power, then gold will appear to rise. And that's basically what we face. I think that there's a huge error, if you like, in central bank thinking that the purpose of interest rates is to manage economic outcomes. No, it is not. If you go back to the days of gold standards, it was there basically to manage your gold reserves. In other words, if the gold reserves started going out of the door, you had to raise interest rates to make your currency, which was a gold substitute, attractive to the arbitrageurs to get the gold flowing back into your reserves. That's actually the true role of interest rates, is to stabilize the currency, not to manage the economy. And of course, so
No, it isn't. Interest rates are a cost of the money. It's the cost of you lending the money out, how much you get back. So if I lend you $10,000, the money I'm getting back is worth less. So I need to charge an interest rate to get $11,000 back in the $10,000 time frame. It's a cost of money, not what he's talking about. He doesn't get what interest rates are. Why is there an interest rate in the first place? Because with gold, there's no interest rate. You'd have like 1% or 2%. You don't need it because gold doesn't move. The value of gold maintains, so you don't need an interest rate. It's only because of the fiat money, as I've explained, that if I loan $10,000 out with the inflation, you give me back 10, I get 5. So I got to charge a high enough interest rate to get my 11. It's an inflation thing because of the money being worthless. That's what an interest rate is.
all central banks are doing completely the wrong thing. This is now basically what's happened is that by using interest rates to try and manage economic outcomes, every time there's been a credit bubble, the response from central banks has been to reduce interest rates sharply, to take the pressure off malinvestments, off the zombies, if you like, off banks which may be over-leveraged for those conditions and face substantial loan problems, if you like, bad debt. Take pressure off markets. I mean, ever since Greenspan, he was talking about, you've got to keep the stock market bubbling, take the pressure off the stock market. So you've had bubble after bubble after bubble, and we are now finally in the largest bubble ever known in history. This is larger than John Law. It is larger than South Sea bubble. This is the big one. It is larger than the dot-com bubble. And I remember the human psychology in the dot-com bubble was exactly the same as, you read accounts of, the Mississippi bubble and the South Sea bubble and the tulip mania and all these bubbles. I mean, it was up there with the extremes. This is twice as big. I mean, when this bursts, it is there's nothing, absolutely nothing any central bank can do about it. Because by reducing interest rates this time, they just collapse their currencies. That is really how serious this situation is. There is such demand for gold, particularly from Asia.
This AI trade finder will handpick you options trades every morning on autopilot. Hi,
particularly from Asia. We can talk about that a little bit, what's driving that. But there is such heavy demand for gold that they're even going in to try and sort of get the loose holders out of futures. So it's a bid-only market in effect for physical. And the only way you can get physical, go along to a refiner and say, when can you let us have some gold? They say back of the queue. If you go to start dealing in the forward market in London, then you might be able to get some. But the amount of liquidity in the vaulting system, in the LBMA's vaulting system, I guess is extremely low. I mean, it shows that they've got, how many thousand tons, but, in practice, very little of that is really available, if you like, to satisfy market deliveries. And we've got the same situation in COMEX. Again, you've got quantities there which are basically not really available for delivery. I mean, some of them may be registered for delivery, some of them may be eligible for delivery, all that sort of stuff. But, the reality is that the liquidity in these markets, in Western markets, is drying up because of demand from Asia. And it's running into that brick wall. And I think this is why you've got these enormous quantities. I mean, 69 tons of gold is not a trifling amount. I mean, this is very, very serious stuff. This is more than most countries' gold reserves. since stood for delivery on the December contract, on the expiry of the December contract. And also, it seems in its dying days, you see people going out and buying the December contract so they can take delivery. I mean, this is, honestly, Jesse, this is an extraordinary situation. And I think it does tell us that there are strains in the market. Now, we can't know precisely what those strains are, but this is the sort of thing I would expect to see ahead of a fairly significant move up in gold. But that has to be justified. It has to be justified by the fundamentals. And here we come back to the situation over debt, over the stability of credit in terms of its value. Now, clearly, there are central banks around the world who look at the relationship between gold and currency and basically want to get rid of their currency reserves and replace it with gold.
Europe, often seen as the cradle of.
So that's a little bit of alligator. That's what I got on that. So the economics, again, it's if you raise prices, things go down. So Daria's worried about rising food prices. Well, where are you going to get the extra money? So I'm trying to explain to her that Kroger's can raise the price on food, but to stay in business, they can't make it that high or people can't afford to buy them. And then they can't sell and Kroger's will be out of business. Me and you will go to a different store or we'll choose different foods to eat. Because I noticed my vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, they go up a little, but it's nickel dime stuff. So you can always eat the veggies and have no problem. And the chicken's still cheap and the hamburger's still cheap. We've had high prices in cereal and Fritos and Oreos, but like I say, I can go get a broccoli and it's still $1.99 or whatever. So, you're fine if you get that. Eggs apparently are going up here because of farm fresh eggs or some shit like that. I don't know. What are you going to do if you eat eggs? You eat eggs. You'll try buying other types or something, or just pay a little bit more for the eggs. But they're too damn healthy to not eat them. Anyway, anything else? So I'm not going to go buy gold today. Get the Social Security on Monday, and then I get a 2-day paycheck on Thursday, and then I'm back to a full check the following week. So I'm thinking I'll get announced the following week, maybe a quarter ounce when I get my 2-day paycheck. I did talk to my boss yesterday, so I'm hoping I can get paid for a Christmas Day and New Year's Day or something. I'm not holding my breath, and I'm fine without it, but it's just fair if I am an employee to get the employee benefit. That's about it. So off to the pool, I don't know what I'm eating for dinner. Chinese, I had New Year's Eve, so I don't think I'll get Chinese today. I don't know what I'm going to do for dinner. There's a Chinese buffet, and it's terrible. Barbecue, I had Christmas. I'm all out of options. Not sure what I'll do. I did make some chicken breasts, but I like that. I think I got to go to the grocery store and get some stuff to nibble on. And that's about it. I do have my avocado, so I just ate that. Anyway, Celtic salt, the cayenne pepper, eating very healthy. That's all you can do is, stay away from the doctors and eat that. So I know everybody will run to their doctor because people are just so clueless. They don't know what to do. See, because I'm smart enough to watch other people and learn other things besides what the standard quo is, makes me an exceptional football handicapper and understanding Austrian economics because I was willing to learn it, and I know it. I don't memorize anything, and I know what's going to happen are facts. This is what will happen. And so I do that fairly well. And anyway, so we got 2 ball games on today. You figure Baltimore will probably win by 20, probably, but it's hard to lay 20. But you never know. Cleveland already beat them once, and then you've got Cincinnati, Pittsburgh should be a good game. I think Pittsburgh will try. I don't think they're just going to lay down so Cincy can win. So I think that is a very good game. I don't like Cincinnati as the favorite in that game. Just because your team has to win doesn't mean they will. It's just tough. So it's a hard week because there's only a few games to bet on. I bet the Detroit over like 5 times. And the rest are just, okay, Atlanta should win. Tampa should win. Baltimore should win, but the spread's so high. Denver, I don't know. Pedro, Professor, have you heard of Michael Saylor? Yeah, I've heard of him. He's a Bitcoin guy. What about him? I don't pay much attention to Bitcoin because it's not real. So he's trying to get the price up so he makes money. It's not. I look at it very astutely. It's not money because it's not traded. It's not in demand. I don't want it. I don't use it. You can't buy Teaserking with me. So he's a Bitcoin guy, but it really makes. See, I think he's confused. He doesn't understand what gold is. So he's sitting there saying to everybody, well, we can't use the government money. Let's use Bitcoin. And, we don't want gold because it doesn't move. Well, he doesn't understand it's price fixed. For some reason, they're letting Bitcoin run. Why are they letting Bitcoin run in that gold? But Bitcoin's not money. It's not, I guess it's an asset. It's not it's more of a collectible, like a baseball card where it gets bid up and down, even though nobody owns anything. It's not real and it's not limited and it can be printed. Don't kid yourself that you think, and don't think 21 million is limited because I show you a 50 count Mahomes card. That's limited, not 21 million. If that's real, which you don't know, it's not money because nobody spends it. How does it go up in value? I have no idea. When you got Larry Fink doing derivatives with it, you're fucked. So Michael Saylor, if he would have just bought gold, he'd be fine. But he doesn't understand gold's derivatives. It's paper. It's JP Morgan. Bricks will snap all that. Gold will go to the moon. Bitcoin won't. Because it's priced in dollars. So therefore, what happens when the dollar goes out? Well, Bitcoin goes to zero. What happens when the dollar goes out in gold? Nothing, because gold will be the money, like in the Roman days, and gold will be worth a fortune because gold's gold. So I don't really know this Saylor guy. I don't follow him. I don't listen to him. I've listened to him for 5 minutes here and there. And when he starts calling Bitcoin gold, I turn off. I go, no, this guy's an idiot. So I don't really like him or follow him. And really, he doesn't know what he's talking about. So anyway, just keep your eye on that. I'm going to go have a quick bite to eat, and then I'm going to go to the pool, do my workout. I need to take a steam for my cold, get rid of that, and that'll be it. So nothing really on until I think 4 o'clock or 4:30 is the first game, and then 8 o'clock is the night game. At least they're on ABC. I'd love to talk to the idiot at ESPN or college football putting these games not on regular TV. Because you're basing it on advertising and you're killing yourself putting it on ESPN because so many people don't have ESPN anymore. When you get rid of cable, when you get rid of the cable TV and you go to a Tubi or whatever, you don't have ESPN, provided if your cable company has it, you can get it But if it doesn't, you're fucked. So why not just put it on ABC where everybody has it? Why would you like? I can't watch these college games. So what the fuck? You're welcome, Pedro. But yeah, be careful who you listen. Here's my biggest thing: is be careful who you listen to. There's always 5, 10 different sides to everything. Most people don't understand gold, and when I try to explain it to people in the public, here you want to learn about it. That's why you're here. So I want to tell you. But in the hot tub, I'll bring up gold, and people won't want to listen. They don't believe me because they'll listen to their financial planner, financial advisor, who says, "Oh, you want to? No, you don't want to be in gold because I don't." But he doesn't say I don't want to get commission on it. So he says you don't want to be in gold. You want to be in stocks because I get commission in stocks or annuities or something like that. So be very careful about listening to people like that because they're really looking after their best interests, not yours, and they really don't explain it. So again, you're talking to the wrong person. To talk to a financial advisor about gold is like going to a Chinese restaurant to order pizza. It's not on the menu. He's not going to tell you that. Well, we only sell stocks and bonds. Sorry, we don't talk about gold. It's not a commission item. That's the problem. So you must be very clear in understanding who you listen to and why do you listen to him. Peter Schiff, guy's a moron. Why would you listen to him? Now he's for gold, but I still call him a moron. And same thing with Andy Schectman. He can't explain anything. He talks really fast, but if you listen to what he says or read the transcript, he doesn't talk about anything. He has, gold will go up so much on this date. And you watch the video and he never says the date. He never says anything. He doesn't say COMEX is blowing up. He doesn't talk about the Chinese and the Russians having all the gold and BRICS and the central banks causing gold to go up and blowing up COMEX. He doesn't talk about that. There is no date when gold's going up or silver because we don't know. It's when we get rid of COMEX, and it's getting close. That's why I showed you the 10 European countries that are collapsing because their monies were out. The whole fucking Europe's going to collapse because they don't have the ones that don't have gold because their money will be worthless. The only countries with gold, BRICS, will survive this mess that the Keynesians have put us in, George Soros. So this is what we have. So please be careful with it. Understand. Don't just ask somebody without getting their credentials. Anybody that doesn't understand gold, you don't want to talk to. Okay? So first question is, what do you think of gold? To your financial advisor, planner, whatever. And if he says, well, it doesn't do anything, it doesn't give a dividend, just leave. Be stoic and say, thanks, goodbye. You're not worth talking to. So you've got to understand who do you talk to, who's worth it and who's not worth it. And they're not worth it. They don't know. So you're talking to a moron, but you don't realize it. And then you're listening to a moron. And then you're fucked because, like Attack on Wall Street, that's why I show you that clip. He sits there and loses $60,000 because they put him in real estate as it was collapsing. So instead of finding me and going, well, Howard, what should I do with my thing? I put it in gold. You can't lose. And then he'd be worth $100,000 when he needed the money. It would always be there because it's in gold and nothing can happen if you have physical. He walks away with zero. So he loses $60,000 because he listened to somebody because he assumed he knew what he was talking about. So I'm going to listen to Joe Blow, assuming he knows what he's saying, and he doesn't know what he's talking about. So your first question is about gold, and you know about gold, so you know what the answer should be. But hell yes, buy it. You shouldn't even be talking to him because I'm telling you what to do. But in that case, you should ask him about gold and hear his answer and go, that's not what the professor says. You don't know what you're talking about. Get up and leave. But he makes his commission selling. He makes his money selling commission things, and you're the sucker for listening to him because you don't know that he's an idiot. You think, oh, he's a salesman. That's all it is he's selling cameras, tennis shoes, or stocks. They're just idiots. They don't have a background in it. So keep that under mind. You're going into stock as I say, look what Amazon did. Look at Apple. Look at this. Look at that stock. That stock went way up. And so you think, oh, the stock I buy I'm going to get rich because my stock's going to go way up. There's a lot more to it than that. You've got to understand that. So please understand it. Bring me the questions, but you don't know what you're doing and you don't know who to ask, and you end up asking the wrong person and going broke because they don't give a fuck. They just want your commission. I don't. Okay, Pedro, agree. A lot of people listen to morons and they lose everything. You do not truly understand the mechanics of investment in gold. They don't understand the mechanics of who do they need to talk to, right? You have to have the basis. And then, like, I'm sitting at the bank at Fifth Third, and I'm pulling 10 grand to go buy gold. The guy goes, well, you can put it in annuity at 9%. And I go to him, I'm still in paper. I'm still on the Titanic. I want to get off the Titanic. I want to take the money and buy gold because I'm going to get out of paper. That's why I explained it at that level. So if you're talking to anybody and they don't understand that concept, then why would you have a conversation with them? I don't. When I'm in the hot tub and they start questioning my gold, I do a Bobby and I shake my head and go, this guy's an idiot. And that's all I do. I don't continually, I'm at the point where I just don't talk to you. And if you don't understand gold, I don't want to talk to you. I don't even want to waste my time because if you can't catch that concept, then what's the point? What is the point of having a conversation with somebody that doesn't know anything? So there is no point in it. So that's kind of the point of why have a conversation, right? So that's really the point of it. So you come here to learn about football betting, you come here to learn about economics and gold, but real economics, Austrian economics. Now you understand Austrian economics, you go, yeah, it makes sense. Keynesian economics is the market controls everything. The government controls the market. Well, we know that doesn't work. It never has, it never will. We've got to control the market because we know what we want. I want to buy this blue sweatshirt, but I'm going to price it out with these other things, and whoever's got the best price, best quality, I'm going to buy. In this case, it was Columbia. In this case, I was working at Canadian Club, but that's how I made my decision over Dewar's or Crown Royal or any of the other whiskeys. So that's what you really need to have an understanding. And if the broker financial advisor is not willing to explain, you got to get up and leave because you're wasting your time and you're going to go broke. As you said, you're going to lose your money. And why do you invest? To make money. Why go into Bitcoin? You're not going to make money. Even if you did buy it at $5 and you sold it at 100,000, how do you get the money? Well, I got to transfer it with this thing and then it goes into my bank account. How are you going to get your money then? The bank's not going to give you 100 grand. The bank doesn't have 100 grand to give you. At best, you pull 5 grand out at a time. Otherwise, they start alerting the IRS and everything else. So you're going to be taking 6 months to pull your 100 grand out. Gold, I don't need to sell it to get the money. I'm not trying to get the money out. If I sell Bitcoin, it's because I want to buy gold, right? I'm selling the Bitcoin to get the gold. I don't sell the gold because if I sell the gold, it puts me back into this. And I don't want to be in monopoly money. That's why I got the gold in the first place. So you're getting rid of this to buy gold, and you never get rid of your gold for this. Like I said, unless somebody's going to college or a medical expense or something where you need that government fiat toilet paper to pay for something and you need the gold to do it. Otherwise, you're not buying gold to sell it. You're buying gold to make money to get out of dollars that are going to zero. Now that's the explanation. So if a financial advisor can't tell you that, And why are you even talking to it? I'm telling you what to do. Just go buy gold. Why is that such a hard concept to understand? And I show you I do it. So if I'm doing it, why is that hard? So that's kind of the point. Just understand what I'm saying. And like I say, when a financial guy at the bank came up to me, I can put you in an annuity at 9%. I laughed at him. I don't want to be in dollars. The whole point is getting out of dollars because they're toilet paper. And that's why you get out of them. You don't want to be in them in the first place. But how many people understand that concept? Zero. And that's really the problem. Anyway, so that's what's going on. So off to swim, have something to eat. I don't know what I'm doing for dinner, but that's it, Pedro. People need to understand, but you can't just go to any financial advisor, financial planner, and assume he knows what he's talking about. I think that's the problem people have. They assume he knows what he's talking about, and he doesn't. And so you need to ask him kind of for his credentials. Well, what do you think of gold? And if he says gold's worthless, then you know he doesn't know what he's talking about. That's why I bitch at Andy Scheckman and whatever these other idiots, Rick Rude and Reichert and whatchamacallit. That's why I bitch at them, because they don't know what they're talking about. They don't. So you just sit there and going, why do I want to waste my time listening to guys that don't have a clue? The cowboy guy, Peter Schiff, these guys don't know what they're talking about. They are good talkers because they're salesmen, and they'll talk. Andy Scheck will talk for a half hour and he doesn't say a word. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He talks, the supply of silver is going down and people are buying. Why isn't the price going up? And then they'll show you the charts. It's not going up because the charts don't control shit. COMEX controls it with their derivatives. That's why it's not going up. BRICS is buying gold. Eventually, it'll blow up COMEX because nobody will use COMEX to buy. They'll go outside, and that's where the price will come from, and not COMEX, and COMEX gets blown up. That's it, simply. You can't look at a chart to say where gold's coming or going, or silver. All right, time to eat, time to swim. All right, have a nice day, everybody. www.teaserking.com. A few football bets this week. We get into the playoffs. This college is absolutely a joke. They're not even the best teams aren't even in it. So it's really, you can't even watch it. It's on ESPN. It's a joke. Thank you, Pedro. Enjoy your Saturday. Have a nice day, everybody. Stay healthy and buy your gold and silver. All right. Ciao. Physical.